Um, okay, museums are themselves a product of making borders and crossing borders. Amongst these are also the borders of art history. We have different kinds of objects separated according to the taxonomies of art histories into different spaces, different museal collections, whereas in history they were actually coterminous and they shared the same historical space. So today museums are actually facing the challenge of setting themselves up into relationship with the world, with the relationship to citizens in multi-ethnic, multicultural, pluri-religious societies. Now the ethnological museums have been in a process of reinventing themselves because they carry a greater burden of history. The art museums have till now remained enclosed in a kind of a white cube space, and where the individual artwork stands by itself, isolated as a kind of pinnacle of historical progress. So I think now museums are beginning to think about how they can bring a concept of globality within their curatorial practices. And one of these museums is the Kunstsammlung Nordrhein-Westfalen in Düsseldorf. They are one of the best and the most highly canonical museums of Western modernism in Germany. And one of the paths that they are choosing now is the first step is really through traveling a contemporary an exhibition where they borrow objects from different museums to bring different streams of modernist practice that were actually connected with each other into the same museum space, to plot them on the same matrix, and just by bringing them materially together, making them share the same space, to see the kinds of conversations that would emerge, how that makes you rethink your notion of modernism. Modernist art practice is no longer something which then originated in the West and then spread to the peripheries of the world, but it was actually a much more connected practice, a series of experiments which were multipolar, which were not alternative modernisms that in a sense reaffirm the importance of the normative center, but were actually involved in dialogical processes with each other. So this is a kind of curatorial concept that they have, and the biggest challenge is how do you translate that into practice in the museal space. So it means that they are even rethinking the architecture of the museal exhibition to create paths for viewers which you can form your own trajectory, so it's not any longer a linear narrative.